This video explains how to avoid losing column names when adding a new row to an empty data frame in the R programming language. So without too much talk, let's dive into the R code. In this video I will show you an example, and for this example we first need to create a data frame, as you can see in lines 2 to 4 of the code. So after running these lines of code, a new data frame called data is appearing at the top right. And we can print this data frame to the bottom in the console by running line 5 of the code. And then you can see that our data frame contains the column names x1, x2 and x3. However, at this point this data frame is empty and contains 0 rows. Now let's assume that we want to add a new row to our data frame. Then we first need to specify the values that should be contained in this row, and this is what we are doing in line 7 of the code. So after running this line of code, another data object called nrow is appearing at the top right. And after running line 8 of the code, you can see that our new row contains the 3 values 1, 2 and 3. Now let's assume that we want to append this new row to our empty data frame. Then we might use the rbind function, as you can see in line 10 of the code. And within this function we would have to specify the name of our empty data frame and the vector containing the values for our new row. And then in this case I'm also storing the output of the rbind function in a new data object that I'm calling data loose. So after running line 10 of the code, this new data frame object is appearing at the top right, and we can print it to the console by running line 11 of the code. And then you can see at the bottom that we have created a new data frame which contains one row which is containing the values of our vector object. However, you can also see that the column names of our data frame have been changed. So if we want to keep those column names of our original data frame, then we can apply the code in lines 13 to 14 instead. So in line 13 of the code, I'm first creating a duplicate of our data frame because I also want to keep an original version of the data frame. So after running this line of code, a new data frame called data keep is appearing at the top right. And then in line 14 of the code, I'm using the nrow function and the plus operator to add a new row to our existing data frame at a certain index position. And the values in this row should correspond to the values in our vector object nrow. So after running line 14 of the code, our data frame is updated, and we can see that by printing the data frame to the console by running line 15 of the code. And then you can see that this data frame contains the same values as the previously created data frame. However, this time we have kept the column names of our data frame. That's all I wanted to explain in this video. In case you want to learn more on this topic, you may check out my homepage statisticsglobe.com, because on my homepage I have recently published a tutorial in which I'm explaining the content of this video in some more detail. I will put a link to this tutorial into the description of the video so you can find it there. If you have liked this video or if you have any questions, let me know in the comments section below. I'll try to respond to all comments as soon as I can. Furthermore, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel to get notified about future video releases. I have already published about 500 videos on this channel, and I'm releasing new videos on a daily basis. Thanks a lot for watching. See you in the next video.